Okay.
My teacher even told me, listen,
What?
when you go out, my teacher had told me, I will give him thumbs up to that. He said, what, to pass this test, do everything literally on the skill plan, on the
Mm-hmm.
care plan. Everything, word
Right.
for word.
Right.
When you go out and get employed wherever, things are going to change.
Okay. So
People have long fingernails because
right.
sometimes for the test is right, like just little things. And I witnessed it. And to me, I'm so sorry to say it was a mess.
Yeah, and that's really that is a challenge. And like I said, the question on the table is, what do you do when you are taught one thing in class and then you get out into the workforce and you're told to do it something different? So I'm going to push you back to the policies and procedures for that facility, but let me explain to you why. Have you ever played the telephone game where were in like first grade or second grade, where the teacher told one student something and they told somebody else, and then they told the next person in line, and then the next person in line, and you get to the end of the chain, what happens to the story?
It's totally different. It's totally different from the first.
That's right. So when you go into a facility and you're being trained by a preceptor, somebody that works there, so you get hired, you go in, and Cindy is going to train you, and you're with Cindy all day long, and she says, okay, I know what you learned in school, but this is how we do it here, and she shows you something. Understand that somebody told her to do that, and somebody else told that person to do it, and somebody else told that person. So nobody's really going by those policies and procedures because nobody's looking at them. But the policy and procedure is your employer's guidelines on what they want you to do. So policies and procedures are written at the very beginning of a facility. So when a facility is created, they have policies and procedures. And think of a policy and procedure like this. Let's say that you hire somebody off of care.com or Craigslist or one of those places to help you clean your house and help you with laundry. So you're going to get this person one day a month. They're going to come in and they're going to ask you, what do you want me to do? So you tell them, well, I want you to sweep them off the floor and do laundry. That sounds reasonable, right? Except that you don't like the smell of Pine Sol. You prefer, after they mop, that they go over it with vinegar water. You want your laundry sorted before it goes into the washer, and you want to make sure it's folded as soon as it comes out, and certain things need to be hung up, right? So it's not as simple as saying sweep them off the floor and do laundry. You've got a specific way you want that done. Well, that is what policy and procedure is in a facility. Okay, so that facility is telling you in written form on the policies and procedures, this is how we want you to do these things. Now, over time, if nobody's looking at that written list, now over time, someone along the way is mopping the floor and they go, well, I like Pine Sol, so I'm going to use Pine Sol, but you didn't want Pine Sol and you're the one paying the bill at the end, paying for the service, so shouldn't they be doing it the way you want it done? So when the further you get away from the policy and procedure, the more in trouble you get because you're not doing things the way that that the policy procedure told you to do them. Now your defense is going to be, well, Cindy trained me and she told me this is how we do it here. Well, that employer is going to say, I don't care what Cindy told you. My paperwork, the policy and procedure, this thing that I wrote, and it's in the book on the shelf, tells you how I want it done. So do you guys understand?
I was doing private duty. Yeah.
Do you understand why that's important?
I do. I get what you're saying, yeah. And I should have asked the agency beforehand.
Yeah, now let's go one step further. And remember that every patient that we're going to deal with is different. So you've got some patients that need help brushing teeth, but some don't. You've got some patients that are incontinent, but they're not going to wear a brief while they're in bed. They only wear briefs when they're out of bed. And other people who are incontinent that wear a brief 24 hours around the clock. So you've got different in care. That is going to be on the care plan. So your policies and procedures give you general instruction. Your care plan gives you specific ways to adapt that policy procedure to this patient. So does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Okay. So I hear that a lot in clinical training or in training period. I hear, well, you're going to learn it one way in school, but here in the real world, we do it different. And I hate that. I really hate that saying. It is true. Okay. It is true, because remember, in here, we're looking at one care plan. One. That's it. Out of the millions of possibilities, we are looking at one for the test, because that's how you're going to do it on that patient for the test. But that doesn't mean that that is the way it's going to be done on every patient from here on out in every facility, because every facility is going to have different policies and procedures, and every patient is going to have a different care plan. So in a way, that is correct. You're going to learn one way to do it in school for the test, but when you get out in the real world, there are variations of that. That is true, but do you guys remember the principles we've learned? Remember all these banners, these principles?
Yes.
Right? Those principles don't change. It doesn't matter whether you're in a nursing home or an assisted living facility or the hospital. It doesn't matter if your patient is immobile or if they're able to do things on their own. Washing rules are washing rules, period. Doesn't matter. If we're going to wash something, these rules always apply, period. That doesn't ever change. And that's why I teach it this way with principles, because your policies and procedures and your care plans can change. These do not, ever. So you're going to take these principles and adapt them to wherever it is that you're going to work. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So if your patient is ever uncovered or undressed, we're going to use a privacy blanket. Now, you might go to work at an assisted living facility and they go, oh, well, we don't use those here. Well, then your patient might have a bath towel in their room. Use a bath towel to cover them, because privacy is important. Privacy doesn't change just because they're in a different place. That need for privacy is always there. It doesn't matter where the patient is. So if the patient's ever uncovered or undressed, you've got to cover them with something. So if you don't have a privacy blanket around, that facility might use a towel instead. No problem. But you do need to protect privacy and give them some dignity. And we're going to talk about privacy a little bit more, about why those privacy blankets are important, and a little bit later in today's program. So you'll kind of understand why those principles are valid no matter when or where you're using them. Good? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I get that question a lot. It kind of gets under my skin. The instructors are right when they say that, but they don't follow it up with more information that the student needs. So what ends up happening is, if I'm an instructor and I say, okay, this is the way you're going to do it for the class, but when you get out there in the real world, everything changes. You're never going to use any of this crap. Just learn it for the test and move on. That doesn't give you any confidence in the instructor. It doesn't give you any clear indication of what you're supposed to do in the real world. When they say everything's going to change, well, what does that mean? What do I do? So I don't like that saying because of that. It doesn't give the student any clear direction on what to do with the information that they're learning. And that's why I like to follow it up with, yes, it is correct, but you have things to guide you. You have the policies and procedures, and you have those care plans to tell you how to adapt those policies and procedures to that patient. And if you use those two tools, you'll never have to wonder about how to do something, and you'll find that everything that we've learned in class is relevant. We're just going to adapt it to that particular patient. Good?
Good.
All right.